got to shred guitar in the 80s. Today I thought it'd be fun to talk about Paul Gilbert again, and this time Bruce Bouillet along with him, and their string skipping arpeggios. I never forget getting the Second Heat album and taking it home and listening to it, and just being blown away by these really fluid interval skips they were doing, these arpeggios. At the time I had no idea how they were doing it. I didn't know that they were string skipping with legato. They just sounded amazing, and I remember figuring out the notes and just trying to get it down. And then when I saw Paul Gilbert's Intense Rock video, he actually showed a minor 7 shape on there that just opened up all sorts of doors. And I thought I would share how I got it down, how I developed some of the string skipping stuff, and maybe to help you also. I think when you're doing stuff where you're spreading your fingers out, like these string skipping arpeggios that Racer X did back in the day, it's really important to get them down in a comfortable position, kind of the movements, just in normal patterns that you're used to playing. Really getting that down, the string crossing and the phrasing, and just taking that phrasing and applying it to some of the bigger reaches. That little legato lick is a great one, and it's a great one because you want to work on your timing. You want to make sure that that down-up is in time with the rest of the lick. You don't want to rush any part of the lick. A lot of times we'll rush the easy part, so we might go. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure it's. The next lick to practice would be this. So you really want to make sure you're feeling those triplets and everything's nice and even. And what I'm doing there is I'm picking down, then up, hammer, hammer, and then I go up, up, and pull off. This is in the key of A minor. And with the downstroke, I'll play 8, 6, 5 on the second string, and then start to lick over. So it's like 2 sextuplets. So I'd go for a moderate speed where you're really feeling the groove. That is super important. I wouldn't try to play it any faster than you can phrase it. The phrasing's the key. You really want to make sure it's even and feel the phrasing and just speed the phrase up. Then we can just try the A minor 7 arpeggio. And what we're going to do is we're going to take those notes and we're going to do it a string skipping like Paul and Bruce did back in the Racer X days. So we'll go 15 on the 5th string. So we're actually starting on the minor 3rd. Then we're going to go 12, 14, 17. And then on the 1st string, 12, 15, 17. Pull off, then down on 17 on the 3rd. Pull up to 14, pull up to 12. And then repeat, so we get exactly the same picking, exactly the same phrasing. And there you have it. Diminishing. So you're hammering part of the lick and you're picking part of the lick, and it's a very distinctive sound that Paul and Bruce used back in the Racer X days. Here's a little lick you can do to kind of get used to that kind of thing. It's kind of a 5 lick. And what that lick is it would be like down, up, down, hammer, hammer. So on the second string in A minor, I'm just playing 15, 13, 12. Hammer back, then you'll go 12, 13, 15, 13, 12, but you'll pick up, down, up on the first three notes. And then pull it off. So you get this. I just love the old Racer X stuff. Street Lethal, Second Heat, just amazing albums for me in my development in the 80s. I mean, I just couldn't get enough of Racer X. And Paul and Bruce laid everything out really logically, so it was great just to break out the metronome and practice it. I didn't really do a lot of metronome practicing back then, but I do now, and it's really beneficial. But back then, I just kind of wung it and just tried to make it sound like it and play as fast as I could, as clean as I could, you know, that sort of thing. But the Racer X stuff's really cool. Today I'm using a Spark amp. It's a positive grid 40 watt Spark amp. My brother got it for me, and it's a lot of fun to play. I've been using the Black Star 40 watt, which I'll probably continue using because I love the sound of that. But this positive grid has a really fun sound too, and it's great at lower volume. Today's album pick is really fun for me. I used to play these albums like crazy. It's actually 2 albums, and it's the new reissues from Divebomb Records of David T Chastain's band down in Cincinnati, and that is CJSS, World Gone Mad, and Praise Aloud. And these 2 albums are just, to me, classics of the genre, just pure American metal from the mid-'80s. Just chock full of amazing songs. That's what I loved about Chastain's bands. They just really had fun songs, and he was a great player, played really fluid. The opening break on Hell on Earth with the drum solo into that break, that run he does, is just still amazing to this day. And no one really plays like Chastain. It's very unique. He does a lot of like double picking with pull-offs and creates this really cool slippery feel. To me, it just sounds amazing. It's totally different than I would play, but I just really enjoy listening to him. He's got great phrasing. And the songs in this album are Hell on Earth, No Man's Land. They do a cool Zeppelin cover of Communication Breakdown. The classic World Gone Mad. Run to Another Day is a really cool ballad with it breaks into a really heavy part in the middle with an amazing solo. The Gates of Eternity is another real cool one, very neoclassical. Destiny's a really killer song. And there's actually a really cool live version of it. If you go to Leviathan Records YouTube channel, they have all sorts of cool old Chastain and CJSS stuff posted. In fact, they have a full concert that was live from Bogart's, this club they used to play a lot in Cincinnati. That's really fun to watch, and Dave's just on fire. He just plays amazing on it. Welcome to Damnation's a really cool song, Living in Exile. There's 4 cool unreleased songs in here, demos. Stand Up, Fight for Your Life, which is really cool. Wild in the Streets, which is reminiscent of Wild and Truly Diminished off of David T Chastain's instrumental variation albums. You have Forever Young, which is a really cool song, and Paradox 13, which is a cool jam also. So World Gone Mad is definitely a must-have if you're a fan of metal from that era. Then they followed up with the amazing Praise Aloud, which is just a killer album. Out of Control is just a great opener. Land of the Free, Don't Play with Fire, super heavy tune. Praise Aloud. Citizen of Hell, which is kind of a really long kind of song, very structured. Danger, Metal Forever, another scorcher. One of my favorite instrumentals from them of all time is Thunder and Lightning. And that lead break, the first lead break, I think is some of David T Chastain's best playing. Super tasty with a great phrasing. That's the cool thing about Dave in the metal context. He could just really phrase really free and cool, and had a lot of cool fusion elements. I also like the song The Bargain, which is another cool song. I always had a little bit of Iron Maiden influence. And there's 4 bonus tracks on here as well that are really cool, demos from that era. Praise Aloud's a great one also. They also have a really cool booklet in each one that is just chock full of cool photos from the era and articles. This is super well done. I mean, you got the cool photos in the back. Check out those photos, just super cool. There's interviews with some of the band members, David and some of the band members. You have some of the articles from that era. So each booklet is just chock full of amazing stuff. If you're a fan of hard rock from that era or just metal in general, you definitely need to own these albums. Cool thing was Dave always played a Kramer Pacer, which is Kramer was what I was all about in the 80s and still love. There's another cool shot of David with his Kramer Pacer. He played the Kramer Pacer Special that had 1 pickup. It was kind of like the Beretta before the Beretta came out and had a maple neck. There's cool old flyers, just great, just super cool. Both CDs just have amazing extras. It's really remastered well. You can crank them up, they still sound great after all these years, and just chock full of just killer guitar playing from David. I love his style. Very neoclassical, kind of mixed with fusion. Cool tone, used lab amps I think back in the day. So if you get a chance, check them out. CJSS, World Gone Mad, and Praise Aloud, 2 American metal classics. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I really had fun doing this. It was great going over some string skipping arpeggios, kind of in a different location today. Just trying out some different things, but hope you enjoyed this. And if you like it, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, thanks so much for watching and leaving the comments and liking my channel here. I really appreciate it. So thanks a lot and have fun picking.